Vladimir Putin is currently facing increasingly difficult and complex challenges, both on the front lines in Ukraine and across the broader international political stage. His long-standing promise of a "we can do it again" or "let's repeat it" to dispatch his military forces toward the West and achieve a total Soviet-style victory has so far only been partially fulfilled. Unfortunately, the war in Ukraine has already lasted 1,420 days, surpassing the duration of Moscow's defense against the Nazis during World War II. Russia has only managed to seize part of the territories. Russian casualties have reached about 1 million, and Ukrainian strikes have left nearly 1 million people, specifically 600,000, without electricity in the border region of Belgorod. The international network of allies that Vladimir Putin spent 2 decades building is falling apart. The Kremlin suffered a defeat in the Middle East after the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria in 2024. And in South America, the United States captured Nicolas Maduro. Moscow also failed to reclaim an oil tanker flying the Russian flag that was seized. What's even worse is that even though Moscow is bogged down in Ukraine, the global network of allies that Vladimir Putin spent 2 decades building seems to be falling apart, put to the test by the unexpectedly aggressive US President Donald Trump, writes Politico. An entire era is coming to an end, wrote Russian military blogger Maxim Kalashnikov, summing up the criticism of the Russian leadership. Vladimir Putin himself has yet to comment on the events in either Venezuela or Iran. He remains true to his habit of sending subordinates to deliver bad news, and, as the media note, has generally disappeared from view. Despite the defeat, the Kremlin is still trying to project its power. Last week, a hypersonic Orishnik missile was launched at Ukraine. According to former diplomat Boris Bondarev, Russia will continue to demonstrate dominance, even under very difficult circumstances. Even if Russia is in a weakened state, the Kremlin will strive to show that it is a powerful and formidable force, the statement says. Russia has never had genuine long-term strategic allies in Venezuela and Iran, and the assistance it provides is often nothing more than carefully orchestrated political propaganda. Iran and Venezuela do not see Moscow as a protector in the event of critical crises, as was the case with Syria, the publication concludes. It was also previously reported that the US and Russia have overlapping interests regarding Venezuela and Greenland. Therefore, there's a serious concern that the Kremlin and Vladimir Putin might take advantage of this. However, according to political expert Maxim Razumny, it is unlikely that the head of the Kremlin will be able to use these issues as bargaining chips with US President Donald Trump in exchange for concessions on Ukraine. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, is also growing deeply dissatisfied and disappointed with the Kremlin. It is his firm belief that Vladimir Putin is a significantly more substantial barrier to achieving peace in Ukraine than Zelensky. At the very least, that is what The Telegraph reports, specifically citing its own internal sources. They note that the American leader has sent very clear and deliberate diplomatic signals to Vladimir Putin. These actions included the recent decision to forcibly seize a large commercial oil tanker flying the Russian flag, and to provide full support for a comprehensive new sanctions bill.